All right, just clipping back into this. I don't, I'm not Canadian, despite the shirt. It would seem so. So I don't know this politician. I know he's an MP. So looking forward to seeing what he's got to say as they continue to line up and speak in this, or begin to line up and speak on this issue of the convoy specifically. I know many of the MPs have spoken up in opposition to the mandates. So let's see what he's got to say.
If you walk into a grocery store and you see products on the shelves, thank a trucker.
To Saskatchewan.
Our party believes in individual freedom and the ability for Canadians to make their own healthcare choices.
Conservative MPs have been lining up to support the message many truckers want to deliver on Parliament Hill this weekend. Vaccine mandates infringe on personal freedom and will stall the supply chain. South of the border, the former president's son also weighed in.
So let's support these truckers fighting for freedom, fighting as patriots in their country.
Not just political, there's significant financial support for the convoy too.
Make sure that your hard-earned dollars, in most cases that you can't afford to give, are going to the right place.
Nearly $5 million has been fundraised for the convoy online by organizer Tamara Litch, who is part of Alberta's separatist Maverick Party. GoFundMe is now holding the funds until it gets documentation on how the cash will be distributed. And as the convoy...
All right, interesting. So that thing is still going around, that GoFundMe has actively frozen the account, which from what I'm hearing is absolutely false. But the media is continuing to spin that one, that this is some kind of rogue movement or rogue separatist movement, which is not the case. Although those sentiments do exist in Canada, they certainly exist probably in every nation, that, hey, maybe we're not going the right direction. But to lump that in is pretty convenient for the current party in power and for the mainstream media to wash away a bit of the mindset here, that this is actually a Canadian movement, not a separatist movement. In fact, maybe the separatist movement, well, maybe that's in power right now.
When it rolls on, there are concerns about some supporters' views.
Not saying everyone involved in this movement is an extremist, but are definitely trying to aim their narratives at this larger movement to try and see if they can get any traction.
Not saying
online, there have been some threats of violence and to the Prime Minister's life.
I would like to see our own January 6th event. See some of those truckers plow right through that 16-foot wall.
In a statement, Litch says violence won't be tolerated. One federal official told CBC News they're leaving it up to police to deal with online threats. Travis Sandrich, CBC News, Ottawa.
Yeah, all right. So lumping in the narrative of January 6th is fraught with all kinds of trouble. All kinds of rabbit holes, rabbit trails, anyway. All kinds of issues. A lot of them unsolved. A lot of them we would love to get to the bottom of, but it is a firebrand of a phrase, January 6th, and it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What it clearly wasn't, well, I'll skip that once again. I think what it clearly does bring up is that this is an issue, this is a problem. Canada is not the only nation in the world. In fact, every nation to some degree is trying to untangle themselves, to detangle themselves from the mandated regulation of committees and executive orders. And now every country, of course, has a different set of rules. Of course, we all govern differently. But what we have done almost globally is decide that this is such an issue that we must lock our populations down, even against their will. And that's just not going to fly. Not going to fly for much longer. And in fact, if you've pissed off the Canadians, and they are now headed through minus 34 and colder temperatures, they're lining the streets to head to Ottawa in January, well, you've poked the bear. And Canadians, thank you. You have woken up the world. I think for a lot of us, we have just been wondering what to do about this. And we've been doing it in our own different ways. But Canada, you've woken us up. Thank you very much. We are awake.